question is, shall I Caro Kann? I believe we shall. The Caro Kann can be played against 1e4, c6. We have the start of our Caro Kann. We're going to cover every line of the Caro Kann that can be thrown at you. Let's start with some of these guys that are not very popular. King's Indian attack against the Caro Kann. I want you to hit them with this structure. This is the image that you have in your mind. You got a solid position. As he gradually tries to apply more pressure, say rook e1, there's two guys going to be attacking this if he takes. So we defend. And if he's playing b3, he wants to add another attacker there, b6. d4 defends it. We put our bishop on b7, and we're gradually going to work for some queenside space over here. All right? Simple, easy. And keep in mind as I'm going through these videos, what I want you to do is have a chessboard out, a tournament board, just like you're going to use in a real tournament. Go through these moves many, many times. Remember, I want you to know them like you know your ABCs. You don't have to think about it. It just rolls right out of your hand as you're moving. Boom. Comes from the mind into the hand. You're moving fast. I want speed. It's coming back. That was the King's Indian attack. Now we have the two knights variation. This is a creative line by Ding Liren. Knight f6, e5, knight e4. Now, if he takes, here's an important point. We play queen d5, and he's going to have some problems here. So, one of the main lines is for them to play d3 and take, and then we just develop our bishop to b5. We're going to play e6, bishop e7, castle, c5, and knight c6. Put all of our pieces on the best squares. The other line is knight e2. Think of this position as a French. We don't want this knight to get into trouble, so be very, very careful with this. Queen b6, threatening checkmate in 1. Gotta have it. Because it kind of forces him to play d4. That means the pawn can't ever come to d3 and hit our knight. Now, we treat this just like a French. Put the pawn there, next move play c5, and we're just going to pressure that guy. Easy money. That covers the two knights variation. See, we're moving right along, and you thought the Caro Kann was going to be hard. So after c6, now let's start going through the lesser variations here. First, let's start with the fantasy variation. Now, this one's handled by thinking again in a French-like way. After knight c3, we pin the guy. Keep in mind, if they play a3, just snack him. Now here's the key idea of the fantasy. This is your bad bishop because it's locked in behind the pawns. This is his good bishop. We are waiting for the moment, knight e7, for him to move that bishop. As soon as that bishop moves, we move ours. Because we would love for him to use an extra move to take us. So he's moved the bishop twice to waste time, but we move ours only once. A very, very key idea to make him waste time. So coming back here after bishop e4, the main line is bishop e3. And it is the same idea. And keep in mind, in any position where we have castled on opposite wings, you want to throw your pawns to rip the guy open. So, watch how black handles this. b6, just like we saw in the first line. Waiting for that bishop to move. Bishop a6. Because this is going to be the best attacker to your king. So let's get rid of him. Knight e2 takes. c5. We're already starting action against the king. So what? That covers the fantasy variation. Rolling, rolling, rolling right along. Boom, 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 boom. So, okay. Now, let's talk about the exchange. Take back. Simple enough. Bishop f4. Now, this is the structure you want to have in mind for the exchange. Develop your pieces normal. Here comes the cool idea. Bishop f5. Exclam. Now, our idea, good bishop, bad bishop. Because the pawns, keep in mind, I say this a lot in my videos, good bishop, bad bishop. If your bishop is on the same color as the pawn that is locked and cannot move, that's your bad bishop. If all other minor pieces were traded, except for these two bishops, this bishop could attack this pawn. This bishop can do nothing but defend this pawn. so white would have a strategic advantage. That's why we're trading off our bad bishop here. So it looks like our pawn structure is getting jacked. Watch how cool this is. For knight e5, this is the idea. Solid. Knight d7. Oh, my king's open. I'm so afraid. Wrong answer. King h8. Rook g8, and here it is. Oh, at the arrows. Arrows, excitement, and galore. Queen's coming to h4. I'm going to lift my rook on g8, one square to g7. I'm going to bring the a rook over to g8. We're going to have a kingside attack. We're going to have some fun here. Let's go ahead and make this happen in the exchange variation. And you thought exchange meant quiet. No, we're going after him. Very cool idea. Enjoy that. So coming back here, I'm not d5 yet. Jumped the gun a little. Showed you what we're going to do next. The advanced variation. Alright, advanced variation. We're going to get tricky with this. c5. You're like, but didn't you move the c pawn on move 2? You told us not to move the same piece more than one time in the open. We're trying to be tricky here. Because if the guy just plays normal moves like knight f3, we pin it. And again, we're going to get a really exceptional French defense. Because keep in mind, with the bishop here, that's the bad bishop. Shh, don't tell nobody. But with him outside the chain, we can trade him off, and we have a perfect position. For h3, key move, clutch. Can he take? Let's see what happens if he does. If he takes, I grab this guy, and he's got to defend the rook. Then I grab. Not too scared. It looks like, oh, we could have a problem with queen a4. All right, I'm going to get greedy and keep taking some more. All right, that's one example line. So coming back after knight h6, he doesn't want to take. He's just going to play a3. Now we take and play knight f5. And notice, this is beautiful. This is just so nice. Okay, got it? All right. So coming back after c5, what if he takes? French it up again, baby. After bishop e3. We're just wanting to grab our pawn back. He tries to pin. We just want to grab our pawn back. He's going to defend the e-pawn. We got our pawn back. After takes, now, this knight doesn't have a good square. This pawn is weak. Attack the weak pawn. That's the plan. Boom. Boom. Rook e1 to defend. a6. Get out of here, bishop. Get out of here, bishop. Keep in mind, this is our bad bishop. We want to trade him off. So if he comes back, I'm going to play b5, b4, a5, bishop a6 to get rid of that bad guy for the good guy. Make it happen. After a6 in the main game, the guy decided to take. Oh my goodness, no. Takes. Or knight a4, queen e7. And this was cool. After c4, the guy plays bishop b7 and he took. But he took back the other way in order to be able to attack this e-pawn after castles in rook e8. A very interesting idea by a guy rated about 2250. Like me. So, let's roll it back. We have two more variations to cover. I would say in popularity, you're going to face the classical, the advanced, the pan-off, which we're about to look at, and the exchange variation. The others, you're only going to see about 1 in 10. So coming back to this position, let's look at the pan-off. Takes, takes, c4. Now, as some of you know, I have some students, namely like Lucas Dutra, who plays this, and he ran into some serious problems versus this 1300 rated cat. So, let's look at how we handle this. So far, so good. Solid position. Now, if they take, this is the main line. I'm going to show you something really cool. This b6 move is an innovation by Luc van Wiley. After castles, bishop b7, knight e5, castles, queen h5. It looks like we're getting in trouble here. Everybody's attacking the black king. But Van Wiley's like, all right, g6. Knight c6. And after bishop h6, he has this wicked idea. He takes the d4 pawn. I'm going to give you a rook for a bishop and a pawn. But I'm stopping your attack, sucker. My turn. Takes, takes. Don't be afraid. You could play this line. Queen takes. Knight g4. No threats. No threats, no mates, no problems. Rook e1, f5. Now we're going to use our pawn mass and start pushing this guy around. Knight f3 check with a vengeance. This is nice. Simple chess. No weaknesses. No problems. Black is gradually getting a better position. After queen d8, king h7. Looks like he could be in trouble, but no, we're just going to threaten checkmate. And here, white decided to bail out and give perpetual check. So this game was a draw, but I just want to show you that this line is critical to the evaluation of the Panov. I think it's a great line to play because if white missteps at all, you have yourself a much better position. And the hardest thing to do is to stop the attack in these lines. It's annoying how easy it is for white to attack you. So this line is very, very critical to the evaluation of the overall position. Now going back to this bishop e7 point, this is where my student Lucas ran into some serious trouble. c5. Now we have a big issue here, and we go, how do I tear this down? That's not so good. Castles. Okay? Now, if they start trying to really wreck you over here with b4, the mistake that he made was playing b6 and a5 too quickly. It went something like a5, and after b5, b6, the guy played c6. And when I was walking around the tournament hall and I saw this position on his board, and I was like, oh, good God, that is just brutal. Because look at this. These two pawns go, where you going, knight? That's right. Nowhere. Where you going, bishop? That's right. Nowhere. So basically, the rook, knight, and bishop are out of the game. You're like 3 pieces down here. This is like murder. Okay? So you got me. Don't hit these pawns weird because you'll get drilled. So, there's a rule in chess. When the center is locked, we play on the wings. Another rule in chess is when a guy is playing on the wings, you hit him in the center. Knight e4. Very strong move. So, he's got to defend the knight. Queen c2. The center is mine. Bishop b2. It's going to take him a while to use this. But in the meantime, we're getting some trumps in the position too. Now, we're going to slowly tear down this wall. Bishop b2 takes. And after takes, there's nothing devastating about this because after knight c6, we're going to secure the b4 square. Black's position's better. Okay? That's one line. The other line is, what if he stops this knight e4 idea I just showed you? What if he plays bishop d3? Tear down that wall. Plays b4. Tear down that wall. Notice, b6, then a5, not the other way around. Knight a4. After knight bd7, there's some lines. I recommend you looking at this position with the computer to see that in every variation, black turns out okay, and you're going to end up tearing up the wall. Okay. That covers our Panov ideas. Now to the main line. This is going to be a treat. Okay? So after d5, either knight c3 or knight d2, both of them transpose. Take, take. Now, I've taught many of my students both these variations. If you don't like the variation I recommend in this video, I recommend either looking up the classical variation or the Smyslov, Petrosian, or Karpov variation, depending upon which decade you live in. Knight f6 is a move which doubles up your pawns, but is sincerely a solid opening choice for black. Because after c3, for instance, I'll show you 2 quick example games. Bishop f5, and notice that the pieces just go on good squares. Fixes our pawns for us, and we have no real problems here. We're going to play for an eventual c5 break, or e5 break, or play f5, and just make a diamond. Shine bright. Love Rihanna. Okay, so, going back. After g takes f6, we got ourselves bishop c4. Bishop f5 again. And don't let him trap your bishop. Not good. Trades, and castles queenside. Now, overall, this is a quick summary of all the variations that you could potentially face in the Caro Kann. This is a respectable opening. Very solid. In all the major tournaments right now, people who play e4 are facing e5 and c5 in 4 out of 5 games that they're playing. be the guy to be original and be different, play this Caro Kann